Hey guys, Zeramus555 here, just coming to you with a deck profile, the long-awaited Mecha Fan of Beasts. I've been testing this a lot, and the one problem I've always had with this deck, and people will know this who play it as well, is that this deck loses steam really fast if you don't get to Megaraptor. So I've been trying to figure out ways to like thin through the deck faster to get it to this card. The other issue with it is like the build that topped, I believe it was YCS. I think it's Bochum, I don't know how to pronounce it, Bochum. It was running like 20 traps, and I don't like that. I don't like playing a deck where I just revolve super heavily around trap cards, and I tested his build extensively. I actually didn't think it was that great, actually. It was really inconsistent. The only thing that was really cool about it was like the fact that he was playing the Tengu engine with the Miyabis and the compulsory evac device. I think that's what that card is called. Escape device, compulsory escape device. But I really don't like his build. It's like really inconsistent. Like you could get these really weird hands where you open like all token monsters, and then no cards that are going to gain you advantage, or you open like your non-token monsters like Tengu, and then you just ran out of steam because you didn't get into like Megaraptor fast enough. So like I get how his build worked. I think it was really just like the fact that he was main decking triple mistakes. Now I see a lot of Mecha Fan of Beast players, especially here on YouTube, trying to keep playing that build, which I think is fine. But I honestly think the reason that guy did so well is surprise factor, and surprise factor is a big deal, especially when you're in tournaments. So I kind of wanted to make this so it can compete on a competitive level, which I feel like it can. Its hardest matchup is obviously going to be Shadows. That deck is still stupid. It needs to die. I'm just super sick of it. And Cleaforts can be tough as well. But pretty much every other deck this deck can compete with or outgrind. I did 2-0 a Cosmo player on DN. He was in the top 50 players on DN, and I 2-0'd him about a week ago when I was playtesting this. And yeah, I just rocked him. It was awesome. And this deck is just like really consistent. It's really fast. It's got a lot of draw power. It's got a lot of consistent draw power. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going to get into the deck profile and I'll explain my choices. This might be a bit of a longer deck profile, but I think you guys will really enjoy it. So starting things off, we have 1, 2, 3 Megaraptor. He is the heart and soul of the deck. Cool thing about this guy compared to every other searcher in the game, this guy can search out himself. That is awesome. I do that so often where like I'll start off by setting Megaraptor turn 1 with a Scapegoat. They go to attack Megaraptor. I'll flip up the goats. Generally what they're going to do is attack a token if they're a smart player, but if they're a bad player they will continue the attack on the Megaraptor. In that case he's just going to flip up. And the next turn you can, on your turn you can use the Megaraptor to tribute the token, search on Megaraptor, summon Megaraptor, tribute another token, add another Megaraptor, and you've essentially gone +2. Or +1 if you want to count the fact that goats is basically a -1. But I mean the tokens are going to replace themselves anyways. And then at that point you can overlay for a rank 4, or you can just leave your Megaraptors on the board, etc, etc. So there's a lot of really cool combos you can do with this guy. Also the fact that he will special summon you a token when he's on the field. If a token is special summoned is excellent. So he combos really well with Aerial Recharge, he combos really well with Tetherwolf, he combos really well with Coltwing, with Hamstrat, with O-Lion. He's the heart and soul of the deck, and I think that you really need to focus your build around making this guy work, because he is ultimately your advantage engine, and he is what's going to outgrind your opponent. So on for the other level 7, or 4s I should say, Tetherwolf. He's great because when you summon him, he just instantly summons you a token. So that's really cool. You contribute a token, and he goes up to 2,500 attack during the damage step, so that's really nice as well. Kind of gives you a little bit of an honest effect there. It helps you get over stuff. The thing that makes this guy so good is just the token on the summon though. Like it's really, really important, especially in this build, and I'll get to it in a bit here why he's so important. 1 Blackfalcon. I was playing 2, but I found like I kept summoning this guy and he was getting like Fiendish Chain or whatever else. They mirror force him, that kind of thing. It's kind of irritating. He's cool though because when you attack he does generate a token, so he's kind of clutch in certain situations. He also goes up to level 7 with 1 token on the board, and that's also very important with this build. So that's it for the level 4 Mecha Fan Beasts. I'm playing 2 Hamstrat. This guy's just really clutch. A lot of people play him at 1. I think that's wrong, to be completely honest. I've played this deck long enough now. It's been over a year I've been playing this deck now, and I honestly think you need to play at least 2 Hamstrat. Like, yeah, he's a little slow, and yes, if they have a monster that attacks over him, well, most monsters are bigger than 1600. He is not going to be on, he doesn't stay on the field. A lot of people don't know that. When he flips up, since he's not a flip effect monster, he flips up, dies, and then specials the tokens after that effect resolves. So what ends up happening is, even if you have, the only time he's actually going to survive is when you flip him up, or they attack him and there's already a token on the board. It doesn't happen often, but if you can set this guy up and he survives a turn, it's really good. And just the fact that even if he does die, you don't care, because those tokens are going to generate you advantage, or they're going to help you go into a synchro play, or they're going to help you start generating more pluses with Megaraptors. So, plus this guy does have a Monster Reborn effect. There's some really cool combos where you can use Dracosack's Destruction effect multiple times in one turn. If you have a big board of tokens, you can, like, with a Dracosack, you can tribute the Dracosack off with its own effect after you special 2 tokens, and pop card your opponent's field, summon Hamstrat, tribute one of the tokens, bring Dracosack back, and then you can tribute the Hamstrat or himself or the token to pop another card in the field. So really cool combo, and then you're still left with a Hams or a Dracosack in a token, which is obviously really powerful. He also helps you go into your level 8s and stuff as well, which is really important. 1, 2, 3. Probably the second heart of the deck, I would say, is O-Lion. So what this guy does is he essentially will, when sent to the graveyard, special summon you a Mecha Phantom Beast token. The other amazing fact about this guy is he's a level 2 tuner, so you can use him with a level 7 Mecha Phantom Beast to make Jaculuzlin. I think that's how you say that card's name. I just call him Jackie. Or you can banish him from the graveyard to get an extra normal summon, which is also extremely, extremely helpful. That effect will essentially let you spam the board, lets you do some pretty crazy combos, especially because you can banish him to banish or extra normal summon another O-Lion in the same turn, which is nuts. I did a combo on Brennan last night. He was shocked after it was over, but I basically had O-Lion Soul Charge in hand, I think it was, and I had Megaraptor, Tetherwolf, O-Lion, Hamstrat, and another level 4 in the graveyard. I forget what it was. And anyways, I soul charged for 5. I brought them all back. I synchroed Hamstrat, O-Lion, and one of the level 4s for, I think it was Tetherwolf. It was 2 Tetherwolves, that's what it was. For Trishula, I banished 3 cards or 2 cards in his control, and then 1 in the graveyard, so that was 3 cards banished. I then extra normal summon, or I normal summoned the O-Lion, I synchroed for Jaculuzlin, tributed the 1 token because I had special 2 tokens off O-Lion and Megaraptor, and I, at that point, hit another card out of his hand, and then I overlaid the Trishula and the Jaculuzlin for Enter Blathner and banished another card in his field. So in one turn I hit 5 cards off of essentially 2. It was pretty crazy, and he obviously didn't come back from that. So this card is insane. It's super, super powerful. I am also, for the last Mecha Phantom Beast monsters, running 2 Kalgriffin. Now, some of you might be like, why are you running that card so bad? This card is bad. It's really not good, but sometimes you actually do special summon it with its effect. Very rarely, but it can happen. You can also summon him back off of Hamstrat, which is really good. Because Hamstrat doesn't say what level, it just says it needs to be, you can special back on Mecha Phantom Beast. So this guy does help sometimes, but really what he's in the build for is he gives me a searchable target for the best draw card in the deck, which is Sacred Sword of 7 stars. I'll talk about this card in a moment. This card is freaking awesome. It's so good. But he's basically just a searchable target because, once again, Megaraptor does not clarify if it needs to be a level 4 or lower Mecha Phantom Beast. It just says add 1 Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your deck to your hand. So I can add Kalgriffin at that point, and then I can use Sacred Sword. It's just super good. You just basically thin through your deck really fast. And last 3 monsters I'm running is actually triple Maxx. I was running 2, and originally I was playing dualities in here, but I just noticed the dualities like really hurt the deck's consistency. Duality is really good for like first turn if you want to get to, say, Megaraptor as soon as possible, but you're not always going to get to Megaraptor, and sometimes I'll like duality for, I had one duality that last night that sucked. I duality for Blackfalcon, Tetherwolf, and something else that special summoned, and I was like, well, no matter what I grab here, I can't use any of these cards this turn anyway, so basically they're dead. And if that was a Maxx, like, Maxx is just super good against pretty much everything right now. There's not really a lot of decks that it's bad against. Every deck at least specials like once per turn, so even at worst, it's going to be just like an upstart goblin that I'm not having to pay my opponent, and it is a trap card essentially, so it's really good. It's also level 2, so it does help you with some synchro plays if you do want to do a crazy soul charge for some weird reason. So I think that this card's really good because this is a very slow control deck, and this card just essentially helps us slow down the faster decks to our pace where we can eventually grind past them. And 3 Maxx has been really clutch. It's just a really strong card. So that's it for the monsters. I believe it's 17 monsters. Sounds right. On to the spells. So my favorite card in the deck is Sacred Sword of 7 stars. I'm actually not going to take credit for this. I did kind of steal this idea from Jeff Jones in a sense. I was looking at the Cosmo decks that topped the ARG, I believe it was a couple weekends ago, and a couple of the builds were running 2 Sacred Swords, I believe he was, and a couple other builds were running 3. And I kind of realized, I was like, well, hold on a second, that card's really good, like that's essentially a draw card. And I thought for a second, I was like, wait a minute, Mecha Phantom Beasts have level 7s, and I recalled a build that topped regionals back during Dragon format. I got top 8, and he was playing triple Tempest and triple Kalgriffin. And I was like, hold on a second, that's really, really good. So I started testing out extensively a build to abuse this card here, and it actually ended up working really well, and it's been working exceedingly well ever since. There's so many targets for this card in the deck. Like, this card is never dead. It's awesome. So, like, a lot of the times you're going to open this card with Kalgriffin, even with 2. Like, I've seen some builds running 3. I don't think... There was another guy on YouTube that had the same kind of idea, but he's running 3 Kalgriffins. I don't think you need 3. Like, in the testing I've done, you only need 2. This is because this card is live if you banish a monster on the field, which is insane in this deck. It's so good. So, let me explain why. All of these Mecha Phantom Beasts here, so Blackfalcon, Tetherwolf, and Megaraptor are all level 7 with 1 token on the board. That is freaking awesome. It's so good. I know I'm like overly excited about this build, but I love it. It's so consistent. What's so good about this is like I don't have to open up with the Kalgriffin to make my Sacred Swords live. Alternatively, like I said, I can search this out with Megaraptor, so this card is never dead. It's really good. The other thing that's really powerful about it is with these 4 cards here, Tetherwolf especially is better at this because I don't have to waste my battle phase, but essentially you can summon Tetherwolf, get a token in the same turn, he goes up to level 7, and then you can Sacred Sword him, banish him, draw 2 cards, and you still have a token on your board for plays next turn, or just to give you some fodder for draw or supply squad as well. Same with Blackfalcon, like him, you just summon, attack, get a token. He doesn't die because the token specials before the attack resolves or whatever, however you want to put it. And then he comes level 7, so I can Sacred Sword him as well. And it's just like, it's super good, it's super consistent, it's super fast. And I'm just really stoked like that I came up with the idea to use this card, Mecha Phantom Beast. Because I think it's a really, really good draw engine for this deck, and it's ultimately what I feel this deck needed because it was lacking draw power. The other draw card I'm playing is Triple Supply Squad. I was never playing this card before because I didn't own any. I actually thought it was really slow, but it's actually really good in this deck. You can play your tokens aggressively for advantage. You can play your O-Lion aggressively for advantage as well. And even if you play defensively with this card with other back row set, a lot of the times they're not gonna pop this card because they're more worried about your other cards on the field. So this ends up being super strong, and as long as you get 1 draw off this card, it's broke even, which is great. And even if you don't and they pop it first, you're still going 1 for 1 because they had to waste a card to get over Supply Squad. So this card's awesome. You can like summon O-Lion, crash it, get a token, draw a card, banish the O-Lion to summon like Megaraptor, tribute the token, search, and then you're just like, you can start going from there like just gravy. It's really good as well with stuff like Hamstrat. If you open up Supply Squad set Hamstrat, a lot of times if people open like Mass Destruction cards against this deck, they will try and Dark Hole you or Raigeki you right away, which sometimes sucks for them because they end up hitting O-Line, but a lot of the times they're going to hit Hamstrat. And at that point, you're not going minus, which is great. They have to pop the Hamstrat, and you end up going even. So it's really good. This card's just super good. It's a little slow, but once again, we have the Maxx to kind of counterbalance that slowness, and this card just helps you grind out the other decks that might grind better than you. 2 draw muscles. I was running 3 this card, but I just found it kind of clogged at 3. It is cool because it's like an upstart goblin, but it requires you having a token, and like sometimes you don't have a token, which I didn't like. So it's just good in those clutch situations where you have like 1 token, you need that token to survive the next turn, and this is like the ultimate stall card. Brendan hates this card. It happens to him all the time. He always plays against this deck, always fearing the draw muscle, because when he goes to attack and punch over my whole board, he has to kill the token first, so I'll end up draw muscling him, and then he can't do anything, so it's like super good. 2 Scapegoats, 3's too many, I think 1's not enough. I've seen some builds running 1. You want to open this in Megaraptor, really clutch opening. This plus O-Lion is a really good opening as well. You basically set O-Lion, set this. They try to attack O-Lion, you flip up goats, they can kill a token instead, whatever, you don't care. And then you have some options to go into synchro plays like Catastor, Armades, Vulcan, whatever, and it's just a really good card. Plus you'll generate a token off of O-Lion. 2 MSTs, I wasn't playing these either. I'm not a big fan of Mystical right now, but this deck auto-loses really bad to Cleaforts, and Skill Drain is a problem. Like, that card just wrecks us. Vanity's Emptiness can also be really difficult to get around as well with this deck because we special so many tokens, so I think you need to play 2 of these. 1 Book of Moon and 1 Foolish Burial. This card's insane in here. If you open up a Megaraptor Foolish Burial, you essentially start with a +2 play. It's really strong. Depending on how you play it, you have some other options. You can end with a Draco Sack, or you could end with just like a Megaraptor, another Megaraptor in your hand, and a token still in the field, which is really good. So really, really strong card in the deck. And Book of Moon is just, I love Book of Moon. It's also actually really good because you can flip Hamstrat face down again and flip them back up to generate more tokens, which happens more often than you think. And Soul Charge, this card is nasty in the deck. This is basically, I don't even call this Soul Charge, this is Trishula. I usually always will Soul Charge late game for like a Trish play, and you just like generate so much advantage off of it, you just win. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's go on to the trap. So 1, 2 aerial recharge. So I'm basically running 4 token generating spell or trap cards. 3 of this card is too much unless you're playing like a scramble build. I was originally trying to make this scramble oriented, but it just was not working out. So as much as I love scramble, it's a really funny card. It's just not consistent. But when it does resolve, it's pretty nasty. This card's just really good with Megaraptor. It's also good because you can use it to make your level 4 Mecha Phantom Beasts 7 if you need to activate your Sacred Sword. So that card really helps with this as well. 1, 2, 3 Fiendish Chain. You need to play this. This deck auto loses to stuff like what the heck is it called? Winda is a really big problem. I mean, you could argue that like Breakthrough Skill is probably going to be better against like say Winda and Exciton Knight, but I like this because it just sticks on the monster, and I don't have to worry about doing the banish thing the next turn. It just stays on there and stops attacks, which is also really important. 1 Miyabi, it's kind of my 3rd MST. This card's like really good. You guys know I used to play like 3 of this, but it was just too cloggy, and I think 2 is fine as well, but my tokens are just too important at this point, so the 1 is just kind of clutch. 1 Torrential, so this deck can survive mass destruction. If I have 2 Draco Sacks, a Megaraptor, and a Tetherwolf on the field, and 1 token. That's all I need is 1 token. A lot of people don't know this about Mecha Phantom Beasts. If I mass destruction my board, or you try to mass destruction me, my whole board survives except for the 1 token. So basically the whole deck floats off of 1 token, so this card can just really surprise your opponent. You can have a big board. They will not expect you to have Torrential Tribute. You flip it up, you win the game. So it's really strong. And then last trap is Solemn Warning. So that's the main deck, guys. Let's go into the extra deck really quick here. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope you're enjoying the deck profile. So starting off for rank 10, we have Gustav Maxx. He's basically your giant cowboy. A lot of times you steal games with them. Your opponent thinks that they've survived being under 2,000 life points. Like, I got this. And then you just have basically 2 tokens plus 2 level 4 Mecha Phantom Beasts, which will go up to level 10. And you overlay for this guy, detach for game. And it happens a lot. Enter Blathner. A lot of people don't play this guy. He's awesome. He's really easy to make because of Hamstrat. It goes up to level 9 with 2 tokens. He's also really easy to make because we do play a bunch of level 9 synchros, such as Trishula and 2 Jackies. So Enter Blathner is really actually super easy to make. And his effect is really strong. So a lot of people don't know what this guy does. Basically, once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, then activate 1 of these effects. Banish 1 card from your opponent, or banish 1 card your opponent controls. Banish 1 random card from your opponent's hand. Banish 1 card from your opponent's graveyard. Banish the top card of your opponent's deck face up. So really powerful. He's also 2,900, which is really strong. So he's just like really good spot removal. And if you do like a double Jackie play, which does happen sometimes, you can end up hitting 3 cards out of your opponent's hand. with one play. There's actually a cool combo with that you can do. It's pretty consistent. 2 Draco Sack, you don't need 3. You can recur this back with Hamstrat, Soul Charge. It's basically by the time you made 2 Draco Sacks, you probably won the game anyways. Like, your opponent's going to have to have really nutty plays to get around that. Big Eyes did at level 7 I play. Big Eyes awesome. I don't play Master of Blades. I don't play Red Eyes. I don't own Red Eyes, but I don't think I'd play them anyways. You just don't need them. The burn thing's good, but it's like, eh. Big Eyes just awesome because he's like, gets rid of your, some of the problem cards that this deck can have. This deck does have an issue with Leo, unfortunately. Like, that's one of the biggest problems. That's why you have to play, like, Catastor and stuff, is to get over Leo. And then we have Gear Gigant for rank 4s and Castel. This should be a Chidori. If you have Chidori, play that over Castel. I just don't own Chidori. But Chidori is better than Castel. It is the exact same thing, essentially, but I can bounce a face-down card as well. And every monster in the deck is win, so why not play it? So on to the Synchros. We have Double Jackie. This card is awesome. So basically what it does is with a level 7 Mecha Phantom Beast, I can synchro with O-Lion. And on summon, he has to tribute the token. So that's the one thing a lot of people think is they can special off the O-Lion and then hit 2 cards in your opponent's hand. Unfortunately, that does not work regardless of how you do the chain. Because you will be able to decide which order you want to resolve O-Lion Jackie, but it doesn't matter because this guy does tribute tokens on summon. So no matter what, you're always going to hit pretty much 1 card out of your opponent's hand with this card. Which is fine. The other really good thing about this guy is he protects all your Mecha Phantom Beast monsters and tokens, from being destroyed by battle or card effects. So that's really good. And when he dies, he floats. You can set 1 quick play spell card from your deck. So I can set Scapegoat, I can set MST, I can set Book of Moon, and I can set Draw Muscles. That's really strong. And sorry guys, talking too much. Excuse me. And essentially what it does is it floats for the deck. Konami made a funny article about this and said, like, this is what Mecha Phantom Beasts need. This is not what we need. We need some speed. But it's still a really good card, and I think you should play 2, because you can make 2 in 1 game pretty easily. And Trishula, this guy is easier to make than you think. I actually think I've made this guy more in this deck than I've made him in any other of my Synchro decks other than X-Sabers, so Trishula is super awesome. 1 Crimson Blader, he's just really good against a lot of decks. Mermails, 3-Axis Fire Fist, Necros if they don't have Velk, which they always have Velk, so that doesn't really matter, etc, etc. It's just a really good card. Scrap Dragon is the bee's knees in this deck. Since all the Mecha Phantom Beast monsters cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect while you control a token, what you do with this guy is you summon them out, you target your Mecha Phantom Beast monster, and you target one of their cards. Your Mecha Phantom Beast doesn't die, and then you get a +1. It's pretty sick. It's also good because you can, if you want to, hit one of your tokens and a card your opponent controls. While you have Supply Squad on the field, you will pop a card in your opponent's field, pop your token, and you draw 1. So regardless, it's a +1, which is awesome. Scrap Dragon's like the best synchro on the deck. You could probably run 2 of them if you really wanted to, but I've never really needed the second one. By the time you make like Scrap Dragon and something else, you've won the game. Vulcan's really good in here because I do run a lot of continuous traps, so you can bounce those back to your hands if you need to. He can also bounce back tokens, which is pretty cool. Yeah, overall, really good card. Just kind of more spot removal, and he's fairly easy to make. It's just O-Line and level 4. So, and then the 2 level 5s are Mateys and Catastor. So that's the deck, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please comment down below what you thought of the build, and I highly recommend anybody who loves Mecha Phantom Beast net deck this. I don't care. You can net deck it. I would love to see more people playing this build. I would love to see people maybe changing it up and innovating it and trying to make it better. I think I've got it where I really like it. There's not really a whole lot I would change at this point. Maybe the monster lineup I'm still tweaking, but I think overall it's really strong. So if you guys can think of anything that you would change, please comment down below. Give me your thoughts. And other than that, I think we should get this video to 30 likes, should be fair, and I will do a wind-up deck profile for you guys. I know you've been waiting for that, and I think after wind-ups I'll finally do Insectors or Ninzectors or something like that. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.